An hour's wait in A&E for many patients nowadays, that might seem a luxury. They've achieved it here at the Royal Bolton Hospital by integrating services. But a report by the King's Fund shows that nationally more than 300,000 patients in England waited longer than 4 hours in A&E during the first quarter of this year. That's almost 6% of all patients, and nearly 40% up on the same period last year. Tonight, the Health Secretary defended the figures, saying that the government had eased targets on doctors' advice.
The hospitals themselves advised us that for certain types of people, it is better for them to be allowed to stay in A&E longer, because their problem can then be sorted out, perhaps not after 4 hours, but after 5 hours or 6 hours. And then instead of having to be admitted to hospital overnight, they can actually be sent home. And so that was the clinical advice.
It is a result of your policy, though. You do accept that changing the targets has resulted in people waiting longer.
Well, our policy is to do the best thing for patients.
10 years ago, the number of patients waiting more than 4 hours was 10%. By 2005, the number had fallen sharply to below 2%. But in the last 3 years, the figure has crept up to a 9-year high.
This is a mess of their making. Waits in A&Es are at a 9-year high. Labour has been warning for months about building pressure in accident and emergency departments. The government has failed to see this coming.
Whatever the reason, there's no doubt that patients are waiting longer in emergency departments, longer in fact than they've had to wait for nearly 10 years. Now Labour is demanding that the Health Secretary come to the Commons tomorrow to explain exactly what's going on. Libby Wiener, ITV News at the Department of Health.